Sai Ram, Shri Sai Satcharitra, chapter 4, paragraph 3, page number 17. The heading of the paragraph is Personality of Sai Baba. It is on account of Shri Sai Baba that Shirdi grew into importance. Let us see what sort of personage Sai Baba was. He conquered this sansar, the worldly existence, which is very difficult and hard to cross. Peace or mental calm was his ornament. And he was the repository of wisdom. He was the home of Vaishnava devotees, most generous like Karna amongst all. The quintessence of all the essences. He had no love for perishable things and was always engrossed in self-realization, which was his sole concern. He felt no pleasure in the things of the world or of the world beyond. Now, we will take a break and dive deep into it. Shirdi is a holy kshetra, punya kshetra, dharma kshetra. So, Shirdi is a tirtha kshetra. Now, that got its importance and significance only because of Baba being there. Otherwise, it is one of the most remotest place within Maharashtra as a state. No economic growth, nothing. Shirdi is what it is because of Baba being there. So Shirdi got its significance and recognition, we all know, is because of Baba. So let us understand how he was. He conquered this sansar, worldly existence, which is very difficult and hard to cross. Peace or mental calm was his ornament. Did he conquer? Well, I beg to differ. He had conquered at birth. Now, but we have to dive deep into Baba. Baba is an absolute, complete Avadhuta. He's an Avadhuta, Purna Avadhuta, Brahma Avadhuta. We know that difference between different types of Avadhutas, and out of which the Brahma Avadhuta is a Avadhuta at birth. And definition of Avadhuta is completely, in one word, is dispassion. He is not disillusioned, he is dispassionate because he knows the truth. And being a Brahmavadhuta himself, he traverses through the ups and downs. He traverses through the ups and downs of worldly existence. Not out of his own wants, out of attachments. Out of attachments which people had with him. Out of attachments people built around him, because of which he had to go through this worldly existential ups and downs, which he did, but he conquered. What it means when he says, being a Brahmavaduta, he had no worldly wants. He was completely devoid of the influences of worldly existence. Being a Brahmavaduta. Despite that, for the sake of his devotees and disciples, for the sake of his loved ones, for the sake of Rinanavandhas, the very beginning of he coming to Shirdi and Dwarkamai is the oath which he took as the divine, as the supreme consciousness himself, as a Brahman. Because of that, it all began with the worldly existential attachments, because of which he came. But having gone through, Though he being an Avadhuta, born in a state of Satchidananda, born in a state of absolute state of witness, a Sakshi, he yet went through and conquered. To set an example for the Avadhutas to come, like us, over a period of time. So, he says, he goes on to say that peace and mental calmness, calm was his ornament. Peace, Satchidananda. Being a Sthita Prajna at birth, he establishes a state of Satchidananda, peace and calmness. Calmness, these are his ornaments. Now, there are a little bit of contradictions in Satcharitra and this statement. Baba used to get enraged. Baba used to get angry. Baba used to abuse. Baba has beaten up people. Baba has been very tough with people. He has pulled them up. He is reprimanded. He has made sure that people have atoned for their deeds, which are negative. So many things. So this is really confusing or contradictory to the actual occurrences and what is mentioned here. It only goes on to say, when he was in this world, when he was taking his devotees and disciples out of their clutches, he, out of compassion, got into the clutches. He, out of love and compassion for his loved ones, he himself reacted in a manner where people used to, even get scared of Baba at times. He used to shout, abuse, hit, and all these things for the love. But deep within, he was absolutely peaceful. He was a Satchidananda himself. That was the persona of Baba deep within. Who knows, who sees into his eyes, they can understand he was Satchidananda. He was the Sthita Prajna. None other than. So, but despite that, his actions and reactions were for us. His conduct and behavior was for us to pull us out of our system, our patterns, what we are used to. Now, when we go through little bit of ups and downs of our lives, sometimes we feel that Baba is not doing what we ask him to do. I am going through the pain. I am going through the agony. Life has been quite agonizing. I don't know why he's not pulling me out. When you're going through hell, keep going. Don't get stuck. When you're going through troubled time, keep going, because when you keep going, you come out of it. That is what is the message. When you are keep on going through this, the way the Guru deals with you, don't worry. Guru will never let you down. Guru will never leave you. Be rest assured. Let the whole world leave you. Once you have been accepted, even if your own blood, kith and kin will leave you, Guru will never leave you. Guru, once he accepts, जब गुरु ने हमें स्वीकार लिया, समझो हो गया. Once you've been accepted into the fold of the Guru, you're done. Your journey begins and it concludes only when you attain oneness. During such time, when Guru gets angry, Guru gets, shouts, he's watching you going through trouble, is what you think. It's okay. But deep within, no. Guru's ornaments are peace. Absolute peace. Deep within, he is calm as a deep ocean. The waves are always superficial. The deep ocean is always calm. That is what he's tried to define the characteristics of Guru. And he was a repository of wisdom. Wisdom. I just have a very silly example to give. We know that tomato is a fruit, but we don't put it into a fruit salad. That's wisdom. Fruit salad doesn't get everything added into it. By that account, you won't add tomatoes into fruit salad. That is wisdom. Likewise, wisdom is the one which is achieved by our process of Chintan Manthan also. The outcome of Sankhya practitioners, Sankhya Shastra, I am not talking about these today's practitioners, so-called practitioners of Sankhya Shastra. They discuss deliberate knowledge. They don't know what, they are trying to learn what Sankhya Shastra. Saipanthis and Avadhutas of Shunya Kriya practice Sankhya Shastra. We don't know, try to know Sankhya Shastra. We live Sankhya Shastra, we practice Sankhya Shastra, that is Chintan and Manthan. Now, after all these things, Chintan, Manthan, Manan, what comes out of you is wisdom. Wisdom is everything. Once you have the wisdom, you will go more and more silent. The symptoms of a person with absolute complete wisdom is that he is very silent. He starts withdrawing. No debate. Not debate in its literal sense, no arguments. Discussion, debates are okay. But a person starts becoming quieter when there is a lot of chaos and noise. Only when his ornament is wisdom. So wisdom, he was a repository. He was the repository of wisdom. Like he was the definition. The entire word called the wisdom was him. So he spoke in silence. People say Baba spoke in silence. This is how it is. The more you become more and more wise, and wisdom becomes your character, your definition, you will not get into unnecessary arguments. Just ignore and move on. That is the essence. And that was Baba. Right? He was the home of Vaishnava devotees. Most generous like Karna amongst all. The quintessence of all the essences. When we hear he was the home of Vaishnava devotees, what it means to say. Was he confined to the Vaishnavas only? It's a joke. But you have to get into the depth of it. Today, every nook and corner of the world, we have Baba Mandirs. We worship Baba as Saguna Sakara in a photograph, as a name, and also as a Murti. Murti Puja of Baba happens everywhere. Now, Vaishnavas are by default Dvaitis. So when he is saying Vaishnavas are the practitioners of Navavidha Bhakti, 9 ways of Bhakti, which is Shravanam, to hear about, Kirtanam, singing. Likewise, Archanam, Atmanivedanam is the last one you become one with. Yeah, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vandanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Atmanivedanam, and finally is Atmanivedanam. So likewise in this, yeah, Pada Sevanam, what Deep is saying. Yeah, we'll get into Navavidha Bhakti in particular. So Vaishnavas are known for Navavidha Bhakti. So that expression of Navavidha Bhakti, including the Dasyam, Dasyam is to become, servitude or slavish kind of a thing. Including all those things, the entire thing is more often and more so practiced by the Vaishnavas. So he was the Murti or the entity which was worshipped by the Vaishnavas. In other words, Dvaita Siddhanton ke liye, that is, even if we worship him in a Murti, we are Dvaitis. So for the practitioners of Dvaita Siddhanta, he was the main object of worship. That is what it is said. It is not confined to Vaishnavas. The actual meaning of it. Because if you read it as it is, he was the home of Vaishnava devotees. No. Then what will the Shaivas, Shaktiyas, Avadhutas, and Vedics, what will they say? So it's not that. So we can't take it in literal sense. Now, most generous like Karna is embodiments of generosity. Karna is a giver. So he is being just, it's a metaphor, he's comparing it with Karna, giver. Baba's life, you should see in the mornings, he used to wake up in the morning, brush, clean himself, wash his face, go to the Laindi bath, attend to his nature calls. Once in a week, he used to go for to attend the nature calls, come back to Dwarkamai, clean himself again, take his jhola and go for bhiksha. People say that he used to go for bhiksha only by noon. No. He used to go for bhiksha, collect the bhiksha from 5 houses, comes back to Dwarkamai, and there begins the darbar. When darbar begins, Baba's darbar, that is, people start visiting him in the morning. Every morning, he used to collect the dakshinas from people. He used to demand from some people. Some people who used to offer, he used to reject. Very weird for the common man's eye. The only reason is, if we have any Runanabandhas, financial Runanabandhas, Baba used to take it forcefully at times. He used to say, bring it here. And if you have money, loaded with money, you want to offer his says, get lost, I don't want yours. Because he knew everything. He knew the past, present, and the future. He knew how to ensure that your Rinanabandhas in every manner, not just in financial, is depleted. The moment the Rinanabandhas are depleted, your karma phala gets depleted. You are heading towards moksha and mukti, or mukti, nirvana, nibbana, whatever. But what he used to do, he was the only one, he being the master, he being the guru himself. He used to collect this. Morning, he collects. By evening, as and when it comes, he used to distribute it to everybody. He used to buy the groceries to cook. And he used to have, he used to make, in Marathi, they call it as pulava, right? The rice cooked. And he used to distribute. He used to spend this money on that. And buy his tobacco and, firewood for the fuel for the dhuni. And timber he used to buy, and some of the devotees used to chop and make pieces of it and dry it and put it to the dhuni. Before his Shejarti, before going to sleep, so called sleep, his pockets used to be empty. Everything he collects from morning, by evening he distributes. His balance sheet is empty by the evening. आपका ऋणान बंद मतलब 100 रुपये के बदले 1 रुपया लिया, 1 आना लिया, just to symbolically to nullify, and gives it. With that, he feeds. He does he allows people to travel. He sponsors somebody's medicines. He does everything. By the end of the day, his hands are empty. That is the daily routine of Baba. It's a metaphor that we are saying that he was as, kind as Karna to give away charitable philanthropy. It is he did not, he is everything. He wants everything is his. He wants nothing. Oh, it's only a metaphor just to define how his day used to be. This is how Baba's day used to be. भिक्षा लिया सुबह, दक्षिणा लिया सुबह से शाम तक, सोने से पहले सब दे दिया, खत्म, अगला दिन अलग. That's the way he lived, right? The quintessence of all the essences. Baba spoke very cryptically. He never spoke in a direct way. He recommended his disciples and devotees to read all the scriptures. Somebody he said, you read Gita Rahasya. Somebody he used to say, you read Jnaneshwari. Somebody he used to say, recite Lalita Sahasranama. Somebody he says, you recite Vishnu Sahasranama. In front of him, he has to hear, your Ucharana has to be perfect. He knows, he never ever recited anything. Somebody used to sit in front of him and read Bhagavad Gita loud. And he used to question them on every shloka, after completing the shlokas, on every single thing that he used to say that, any words or any statements or anything from any of Jnaneshwari or Gita Rahasya or Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavata, whatever they read, that particular thing, now you explain. He used to ask them to explain. He used to ask them to decipher. And he used to correct them when they used to go wrong. That was his pattern all through the day. Baba's darbar was a very vibrant. बहुत चलता था. Everything used to happen. Somebody is cooking, somebody is breaking the firewood, somebody is talking to Baba, somebody is pouring their worries and their miseries to Baba, somebody is washing his feet, somebody is reciting, and he is aware of everything happening. His attention is on all the things which are happening, exactly how his attention is on every devotee and disciple of his who are spread across the world. Yet, he used to never miss anything and ask specific questions, observe everything, and then keep giving the clarifications for the confusions should anybody have. That was the style of Baba. That was his presence in Shirdi. And essence of all the essences. Like the entire essence of four Vedas, Adi Shankara gives in four statements, right? Prajnanam Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Atmanam, I am Atmanam Brahman, whatever. It's a summary of Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda. The summary of that is Sainath, is what he is trying to say. I mean, just as a comparison. So, all the summary of four Vedas are given by Adi Shankara as in four statements. That one word is Advaita, that one word beyond that is Shunya. Likewise, it was the ultimate essence of all the essences, of all the philosophies, all the thoughts, all the discussions, all the deliberations, and everything, and bottom line was in him. Shunya. Shunya. That was the essence of all the essences. And he was that. So when you are there at that state, rest everything becomes very easy to interpret and define and give an explanation to. So he was the essence of all the essences. So these are the few of the many characteristics of his persona. I mean, his definitions and his persona, part of his persona, right? He had no love for perishable things and was always engrossed in self-realization, which was his sole concern. Anything which was perishable. In other words, anything which is tangible. In other words, anything which is physical, form, was not bothered. He was not really interested in any of those. His consistent attention was on evolving and dissolving people who came to his abode and refuge. He had only one intent. He was not bothered about perishable things. Perishable things, as it, you can take it as worldly things also. We are also perishable. The body is perishable. So he was not much worried. His attention was always on your welfare of spiritual evolution. So that he says, Shri Dhabolkar says, he had no love for perishable things and was always engrossed in self-realization, which was his sole concern. Self-realization of what? Of who? Not himself. He was not realized. He was realization. The very realization called the divine was himself, whose self-realization was his sole concern. What he was always worried about is ours. Our self-realization was what he was worried about. Baba used to say very cryptically, मुझसे बड़ा कोई स्वार्थी नहीं है, मुझसे बड़ा कोई मायावी नहीं है. Nobody is more player of illusions, and nobody is as selfish as I am. When people ask him, what are you talking? A fakir who collects alms in the morning, even the bhiksha that he used to take food, he used to put it in one handi, mix it, give it as a prasad. He used to partake one or morsel or two morsels, and rest he used to keep it open. Dogs, birds, human beings, anybody used to take anything and go. It was a huge, massive thali types. Used to dump everything on that. Now, the person who takes Dakshina morning till evening and he used to distribute, that divine master calls himself a Swarthi, a selfish man. He says, I am a Mayavi, I'm a Swarthi. What he says? I help people because I'm selfish. I relieve people of their pain, agony, and their miseries of the world. I have made 11 statements and 11 promises. I live by that to the T, to the last word, till the word which says, the statement which says that blessed is he who has become one with me. Why? Because my selfish reason. What is my selfish reason? That everybody realizes. Everybody attains realization of the truth, and finally they become one with me. The division, the duality has to vanish. See, I'm so selfish. The Advaita has to go, Advaita has to be established. They have to be relieved of all their pain and agony. That is my job. Why? Because my selfish interest is that they become one with me. They become me, I become them. That is my selfishness. Very cryptically, Baba stated that in one of the scriptures. I mean, one of the literature work of Shirdi. It is there in Shirdi. So when we take some things from outside of the Satcharitra also in our Chintan and Mantra. So that is why he says a self-realization. He was only bothered about or engrossed with that thought of self-realization of who? Us. So that was Sri Saipanth. We'll today's interpretation. We'll stop at this and then we'll continue again. Thank you. Sai Ram, sir.